Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this edition of Emerge Design Talk. I am super excited about this special with my special guest. We're also going to make it a little Oscars 2022 edition. I am super excited about this comedian, Jonathan Slocumb. I have been following his career since the 90s. Like, he is legendary in the entertainment industry. We thought we'd do something different with Emerge Design Talk. And what better way to do it different on April 1st when we have Jonathan Slocumb, who's also a comedian, but he's also a fashion guru. He is a style maven. He is, everything. Distinguished gentleman. I'm so excited. I'm going to put him on. Oh, but first I'm going to say Emerge Design Talk. This is where we talk to icons and legends in the fashion industry. I'm Dionne Williams, the producer and founder of the Emerge Fashion Show, which happens during New York Fashion Week. We're super excited about our show that we just had in September during New York Fashion Week, where we featured some of the top emerging designers during the show. And then we honored the honorary, legendary Carl Kanai, the designer. Was amazing. We're getting ready for we did it February 2022. We're getting ready for our September 2022 show during New York Fashion Week. So stay tuned for that. And you can see all of the Emerge Design Talk interviews with all the legends on www.gfntv.com or on the Emerge Fashion Show YouTube page. So I'm going to put on our guest, Mr. Jonathan Slocumb. Hey, Jonathan.
I'm making a slow turn.
He made his entrance.
Had to be dramatic.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about this Emerge Design Talk because this is so different than what I have done before. I'm super excited. You are everything in the entertainment and comedy industry, but you also fashion guru. I don't know. Welcome to the show.
Yay, I'm so glad to be here. When I saw you on Instagram, I was like, I wonder if I can get some time with this soul sister because I love talking about fashion and things have just emerged, get it, over the years for me. So, I'm seasoned and mature. I can talk about these things now.
Yes, yes. And then it was so funny because when we were connected, I told you that I met you in the early 90s. You don't even remember.
Yes.
I have this picture that I usually put up
Yes.
Flashback Friday or something from the night, probably 91, 92.
Right.
There to see Will Downing, which is one of my favorites, probably in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago at the Erie Crown. And
Mm-hmm.
you were there. You probably opened the show, and Best was part of the show.
Investor.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, when you said that picture, I had just thought back in the day. I was just telling somebody the other day about my body transitioning as I've gotten older. I used to weigh 102 pounds, soaking wet. And here I am, 63, and I have finally put on some pounds. I got a little gut here. I don't want to get rid of it, D. I want to. I kind of like my gut.
We like a little thick.
I'm not trying to, huh?
And you had the dreads, right?
Yeah, I had dreadlocks back then, and ironically, people ask me, what happened to them. I didn't lose my locks. In 2003, when I was married, my ex-wife and I were having our first child, and I wanted something new. I just thought I'd cut my locks, and I had a new TV show on TV One who had just launched. So I thought, I'd try something different. I just cut them all off. That's the last time I've had hair on my head, 2003.
Woo. Wow. So you look amazing now, and you're in
Thank you.
So I thought this would be so good for us to talk about the Oscars that just happened.
Oh my God.
The fashion portion, because that part has been we haven't been discussing that part of the Oscars. So did you watch the Oscars?
Now let me just say this. I normally don't watch the Oscars. It ain't really for us. But this time we had a lot to be proud about, starting, of course, with Will Packer producing it, with Wanda and Regina co-hosting. And many people don't know that the voice you heard, the voiceover woman, was a black woman for the whole show.
Nice.
And Adam Black. So it was a lot to be proud about. So I watched it.
I saw
Huh?
I saw so much. I saw Robert Glasper was, but just everybody.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was excited about that. So I watched. I got dressed up and everything. I sat up here, had me some champagne, and just watching the show.
Yes.
And yeah, and the fashions did not disappoint. But I will say the men did disappoint me. I have to say it. They didn't do. It's like somebody get me a black tuxedo and a white shirt and the black bow tie, please.
Let's go over some of your favorites or just some highlights of the fashion, and we'll have the photos here. Who are some of your favorite
Okay.
fashion?
Uh, for the women, this sister can never disappoint me. That Lupita,
Oh,
phew,
yes.
my God, she was amazing. Um, I've always been a fan of the style aesthetics of Tracy Ellis Ross, and that woman, that red she had on, killer.
It was beautiful.
It was one of my favorite. And but the one that really caught my eye the most, uh, I can't say her name because her husband said don't put her name in my mouth ever again. So I
Yes,
can't say her name, but she had short hair and a beautiful green dress. That woman killed it.
yes, she
And
was absolutely beautiful.
yeah, and let's go on the record. I did not have her name in my mouth.
Jada Pinkett. Yes, I can say it.
You can say it. I can't say it. And then for the fellas, one of my favorite actors of all times, he never disappoints as well because I think he and I have similar style aesthetics, and that's Sam Jackson.
Oh yeah,
Sam had a classic, huh?
he always delivers.
Yeah, Sam had a classic black velvet double-breasted suit, and to me, he was the best dressed man in the whole show because he understands. Sam has style and taste, and that's what a lot of brothers lack. They don't. They think if they put on a Tom Ford suit, then they all about it.
Yeah,
No, you got it on, but it's not tailored properly. You got about 12 inches of extra fabric on your cuff at the bottom of the shoe. I'm like, come on, man,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah.
And then secondly, he was the topic of the night, but that Chris Rock brought it to me. That navy velvet
Yeah,
tuxedo.
yes.
And I'm gonna say this about Chris Rock, and there's some others who did this. Chris Rock came into his own. Like his clothes fit now. Like whoever's doing his clothes, kudos. Because when he stepped out on stage, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because Chris isn't really known for that. You don't have a lot of comedians who have, as one magazine called me, who are fashionably funny. You don't really equate fashion and funny, except for a few people. But Chris Rock
Yeah.
did his thing.
I think he was like you before. He was real thin,
Hmm.
but now he's like a little filled out a bit. So
Yeah,
it's great.
I relate to that. And you know what, D? Let me tell you this though. This is the thing I'm kind of disappointed about,
Oh,
and I'm saying this with love and always respect. But I think Denzel, he just gave up. He's like, I'm over this sexy man thing. I'm gonna do great work. My wife is beautiful. I'm good. Just give me something to put on because his clothes don't fit. He looks horrible to me. I love him, no disrespect, but he doesn't care. Like I think he just gave up on the whole idea. I'm done.
I thought that too. The clothes aren't tailored like you mentioned on them. Just not.
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels. And even I've watched him on every talk show. When he comes on these talk shows, I'm like, dude, he'll throw on a plaid shirt that's oversized, and it's like he wants America to not look at him as a sex symbol anymore.
But
I'm a director and actor.
us women, we still when I see him, I just still see Denzel. So no matter what he has on,
You see the Denzel back in the day. You don't see Denzel today. If Denzel wasn't Denzel and he walked up to you, you'd be like, man, please, here, you need some change? Here, five, here's a quarter.
I still see the Mo Better Blues Denzel.
I got a million of them. You ever heard of the Mo Better?
Mo what?
Mo Better makes it Mo
There
Better.
you go. There you go.
So what was some of your okay? So I'm gonna say some of my best friends women too were I loved Zendaya. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, our
Yeah.
good friend of Emerge, Law Roach, he styles her, so she's always. And then Andre
Hmm.
Ellis, who was in the movie King Richard,
Yeah, of course. Yes, yes. Now, did you like her in the tuxedo at the beginning?
at
She
the
had a pink.
on the red carpet. Look,
You mean that pink tuxedo?
no, she had on a long red dress. So she had a long dress. You have to,
Yeah. At some point, she had this pink tuxedo on, which was that's
yeah.
questionable. But the orange dress she had on was very, very, very nice. Yeah.
And I thought Beyonce looked beautiful in her
Oh,
yellow.
I meant to mention her. Yes, yes, Lord, yes.
She looked great, and I loved her performance. I love that. See, things like
Oh,
nobody know that. Like Blue was in the video with them. The performance.
yeah,
That's the kind of stuff we
yes,
missed because of the incident.
yeah. It was amazing. Like, yeah, I love that, and I love. This is another thing I love about her and Jay Z. And by the way, I never really like went to her Instagram page before because I knew I'll be one of a quadrillion.
Yeah.
But the other day I went to it and I saw something I never saw before, D.
Well,
I saw that she and Jay genuinely adore each other.
yeah.
Like it became like unquestionably clear because the way that they interact is and Jay-Z knows how to let Beyonce shine. Even with his, selection of clothing. Most brothers, if they had Beyonce with a yellow dress on, they try to have on a yellow tuxedo with the black trim and the black hair with the yellow, Beyonce like nope, but
Yeah.
Jay Z was like nope. Jay Z was fine in this black and white, very basic but very tasteful, and it was refined.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kudos to him.
That's true. And then Venus Williams looked really nice. Another person that loved.
Yes, I had it on my list too.
Yes, but I know you agree with that.
Yeah, because typically Venus doesn't get the kind of shine
Yeah.
that Serena does. But honestly, to that night, and it was like a white or a pearl color, right?
Yeah.
She looked really, really elegant, and that's kind of like I don't think of Venus being that way. She really did it.
And you know who else is always so beautiful is host Regina Hall. She was
Oh
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
And Regina has a way, unlike other comedic actresses, um, her glam and her humor in some way mix.
Yeah.
Because she's not like over the top. I'm gonna say her name. Like Tiffany Haddish. She ready all the time, and for me, it kind of takes. She looked nice,
Yeah.
but her thing kind of takes away from the glam. But with Gina,
Yeah.
a different place. Hey D, do you know for a fact if there was much representation by black designers this year?
I think so because I saw some designers. I saw Rich Fresh, which is from LA, is one of our partners. Somebody wore him, so
My man,
that there were. And David Beverer, he's a designer. I think.
he did Diddy. He did Diddy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, I did see him.
representation.
So, who was wearing Rich Fresh? I think I missed that. Who was wearing Rich Fresh?
Director, I gotta look it up, but I'm sure it'll pop up here. But
Okay.
because I love Rich Fresh.
Yeah, yeah. Rich Fresh is. So I met him in person years ago because I'm a fan of his, and he is like he is who I describe when I speak on this subject about people wanting to get stuff on the hookup,
Yeah.
a discount.
Uh-huh.
And what I have said, I talk about Rich Fresh. Rich Fresh suits start at 5,000, and they should
That's right.
because when you see a Rich Fresh, you know it's him.
Yes.
Same thing with a guy named Octavius Terry, Rico Stupel, a young guy named Jacob Clay. There's a lot of people out here. They do great work, and you won't see yourself duplicated any place. So
Yes.
what I say to people is, don't ask for discounts. Just wait until you can get it.
That's
When you
right.
can afford it, then get it because it's worth it. That Rich Fresh, he's something special.
I love it. And then some of the questionable ones, I only have one actually, and that was Wesley Snipes. That's your boy. I His outfit was a little I didn't
Yeah,
it's just a little questionable. He still look good. When I see Wesley, I see Mo Better Blues Wesley. So
Mo Better Blues too. Yeah, that was a situation where I think I want to wear something different with really bad. It was a miss. Now, what probably could have helped it if he didn't have the short and the matching leggings, if he just had a long wide leg or a bell bottom pant, it
Yeah.
might have been all right because I wasn't mad with the color, and the fit wasn't great. The jacket should have been tapered a little bit more up in the chest.
Everybody don't
Yeah.
have the swag like you. Okay, let's get to the meat of this. Like how did you start this fashion journey? Like when let's start from the beginning. When you started your career, how did you start in comedy?
So the short of it is, I wasn't trying to be a comedian. That wasn't my goal. At every level of education, elementary, high school, college, I was voted most humorous, not class clown. I was the funny guy, and I was always at every level, student body president or somewhere in politics, and in the top 10% of my academic class. So I wasn't like a class clown trying to get attention. I had got attention in other ways. So add to that, I had a love of music. People who know me know that I am very vocal about my faith. And so I was a lover of gospel music. Started gospel choir back in the day. That was back in the day when the gospel choir directors looked only one way. You thought of them only one way. But that was back then, and that's changed now.
Right, right.
And I was a choir director, thin man, so people thought I was maybe like that, but no. So I would MC gospel concerts, and I would have people laughing in the church aisles, and
Okay.
they were like, "Wow, that's we laughing in church."
Yeah.
So some people saw it. Take Six actually was the one that saw me first and put me on the road with them, and that's how I started doing comedy. And then I went to college, and things started happening after that. But the big thing, which happened for everybody, was HBO's Def Comedy Jam. And
Oh,
shout out to,
you
huh?
you made your debut on the Comedy Jam.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. On the second season, shout out to um, Martin Lawrence and Bob Sumner and Mr. Russell himself.
Yeah.
And what happened is season two, the success was overwhelming, but some of the comments were, well, does everybody have to, do that kind of comedy? Is anybody clean? And I had done some dates with Martin Lawrence, and he recommended me. Then Bob Sumner came and saw me in Atlanta. Fast forward, bam, I'm on. I don't know if I'm the first, but one of the first that did it. A clean set without any profanity and all that. That's my thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, what was noted was my hair was processed. I had on a suit, linen suit and tie. Me and Bill Bellamy were like the first ones to have that look, like,
Yeah.
oh, they
Oh,
fly.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, they fly.
And so yeah, so I shout out to Bill Bellamy, my man. And so I kind of started from there as far as the presentation. And throughout my career, D, it's just my thing is I just want people to, when they spend money to come see me, I want to show them that I'm making an effort too to give them a show, not just what I say, but what I do. So I'm never on stage without a suit and tie or suit in some way. That's like a homage to back in the day when Flip Wilson and
Yeah.
even back then when Richard Pryor and Red Fox they came, they were suited.
Yeah.
And I just believe I'm old school and I believe that a show should be a visual presentation as well.
That's right. And then you went into film and movies. Like, what's some of the films you've been in?
I've only done I'm thankful for. I did one movie with Tyler Perry, and he has always been a fan of mine. He's told me, and there's some things to come with that.
Yeah.
And then an opportunity came to appear on the Steve Harvey Show with a recurring role as Clyde the Slide, a member of his '70s R&B group called the High Tops.
Yeah.
Did that. Then I did something with Ricky Smiley,
And you also
and I'm
best host. You hosted so many shows, awards, live shows, everything.
Yeah, yeah. One of my greatest things, and I'm very proud of that. I have the longest running tenure as being the main stage host at the Essence Music Festival, which to me is one of my greatest times because it's nothing like seeing 50,000 black people having a good time in New
Oh,
Orleans.
yes, and it's coming up, and it's gonna be, I'm sure,
Yeah,
over the top.
I want to come back. Call me back. I'm ready.
So we had a little conversation because I'm from Chicago. So back in the day,
Hmm.
all jokes aside, with Ray
Yeah,
Mary Lindsay,
my people.
How do you remember the back in the day in
Of
Chicago?
course.
Because Chicago was a big major player in the comedy scene back then.
Absolutely. In fact, it was one of my, I tell people that Chicago, I used to perform in there like 4 or 5 times a year because I would come to, all jokes aside, twice a year. I was hosting the Chicago Gospel Fest in the park. They had a thing called Black Women in Sports. I would host at the Drake Theater, the Drake Hotel,
Yeah.
and then Don Jackson, who had Central City Productions, I would come in to do events for him. So Chicago is a major part of my growth. My man, who was the house MC at All Jokes Aside,
George Wilbur.
George Wilborn, the stress reliever.
Yeah.
Uh, in fact, I ran into him. He's here in Atlanta now.
Okay.
And I was walking on this trail, and there he was. We talked about back in the day. But one thing about George is, he'll tell anybody, when he sees I'm coming to town, he goes and buys some new clothes because he knew I was going to bring it. He said, every time you come, I got to get me a new suit because I know I ain't gonna let you outdo me in my house.
Yeah, I love those days, and fashion was big. Barbara Bates.
Hmm.
Barbara Bates, the designer, was back in the day in Chicago. Haj. I don't know if you remember Haj.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Legendary Jernico, just to name a few. Did
Hmm.
you afford the Barbara Bates back then?
So okay, everybody knew that Barbara Bates did the Michael Jordan leather jackets. That was the thing. Everybody wanted a jacket like,
It was Michael Jordan. It was
yeah,
Steve
all of them.
Harvey.
Steve Harvey, right, right. And
Okay.
everybody wanted a piece. And I finally got it. I had one Barbara Bates suit. And I mean, I wore that thing 119 times a week. I wore it every time. It was black with the zippers. I had about 8 buttons in the front, and the pants were this wide. And
So
I could never, huh?
go ahead. You could never.
I could never afford her leather. Her leather was way out of my price range back then. I could probably do some things now, but back then, oh no.
Legendary. So tell me about your style? Like when did you start knowing like, okay, I got this swag and this style sense?
Well, see, actually, nothing has really changed. Well, no, things have changed. So, like I said before, I always loved fashion and I like to look my best. But I'm gonna fast forward to I'm s- maybe when I turn 50 or something like that,
Mhm.
or 50 something, I don't know. But when I decided to not to stop dyeing the hair on my face, stuff started to happen because I was always fashion forward, but it's something about a black man with a white beard being fashion forward. And having said that, you don't equate maturity with fashion from a man anymore. It used to be a time, but when you see me with a hat on like this and a shirt like this, rocking a white beard, I get attention all the time. So everything that people thought about my style aesthetic just heightened because I'm mature with it and I didn't let it bring me down. So certain stores I should be shopping at my age, but I don't shop there. I shop in stores that brothers 63 years old would never do. This shirt would not be worn by no 63-year-old man except Steve Harvey.
So tell me, what's some of your favorite designers? Like, do you have any, or some of your
Oh,
favorite designers? Or
you mean that I wear?
yeah, where?
Oh, you know what? At this point, I do some bespoke for specific engagements. There's a brother named Tim Arrington who did my tuxedo when I was inducted into the Black College Hall of Fame. And there's a guy named Jacob Clayton, a young brother out of Dallas. He does amazing work. I got a piece by him. Rico Chappelle here in Atlanta, he's amazing. But casually, my goal, I'm gonna just be upfront. I want to wear everything black, like black designers. I remember one time I did the Image Awards one year, and everything I had on was by black designers: bow tie, shirt, suit, shoes. And on the red carpet, I joked. I said the only thing I don't have is some black drawers. And then the next day, I got hit up on social media. There's a brother with a black men's underwear line called Draws.
That is a good thing.
Drawlz, Draws brand. When I tell you, it's the most comfortable, the most beautiful. I mean, these brothers took into account the blessings of the black man, and they gave us the space. I mean, even when you wear them, it has the D right up above the D. You know what I'm saying? But check them out. It's real talk, real talk, real talk.
Oh,
And
so,
but basically, like for my casual
yeah.
streetwear, like this is from ASOS. I do a lot on ASOS. I love them, and I go into Zara, pick up a nice piece. I like them, and even Forever 21 men.
Yeah.
Ain't no 61, 63-year-old man going to Forever 21 to pick up nothing.
You,
But I get some nice.
you mix it up. Your style is static as you mix it up.
Exactly right. Yeah, I don't I don't really like have one of any particular thing. I just like to mix it up. I just want to make sure that when I step out, it's undeniably me, and ain't nobody gonna have a look like me. So
Yeah, so I love follow. Make sure you follow Jonathan on IG because you be fly with it. So
I love it. I love that you talked to one of my favorite designers. I have never. Funny story. At the top of my list, I love Rich Fresh, but before him, there was Oswald Boateng.
that's one of my favorite designers, Oswald Boateng.
That brother right there. So true story, D. Image Awards one year. He had a TV show one time when he was trying to get a show, a store in America, and so we were following him through through him trying to get that. And I love the show, and I love everything about him. So we're doing the Image Awards, and I'm doing the audience hosting, and I look and I see him sitting way in the back,
Oh,
and I'm like, Oswald Boateng. I said, he's in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big round of applause. It was okay, but not many people knew who he was. I'm like, no, brother, you're not supposed to be in the back. Let him sit right here on row two. He came down, sat on row two, enjoyed the show.
oh,
After party, I see him. I said, Oswald. He said, oh man, I want to thank you for bringing me down. But it was so awesome of you. So this is what I did, D. I said, man, I love your work. I said, I can't wait till the day I have me a closet full of Oswald Boateng.
uh-huh.
And I thought the ultimate thing would be, well, hey, well, let me hook you up with something. You know what he said?
What he say?
Oh, I hear you. Maybe one day you will.
Here's my card. Yeah.
I was like, oh, but huh?
I love Oswald. When I interviewed him, I did ask
Yes.
him, what are some things that men should have in their closets. I'm gonna ask you what I asked Oswald. What are some things men should have in their closet,
Oh,
or what men should be doing in fashion? You feel?
yeah. First and foremost, every man should make sure that they have a specific or designated tailor or seamstress or alterations person. That's our number one flaw. We don't get our things don't fit properly. So identify that person because when you walk in the door, they'll know exactly what to do for you. But
Okay.
what you should have in your closet, number one, every man should have a suit, a black or blue, and definitely a gray suit. That's my take. The gray is always great. Should always have several kinds of dress shoes. Black men say, put on my dress shoes. They got one pair. No, get you an Oxford, get you a Chelsea boot, get you a loafer, three pairs.
Okay.
Different color, black, brown, maybe a cordovan, something like that. And of course, a couple pairs of jeans, and know your body style to know what type. Every brother can't wear skinny jeans. If you ain't skinny, Negro, you ain't supposed to be wearing those skinny jeans. And then the other thing is, sneakers. They're supposed to be for the basketball court, yes, but I would encourage, you know, is that me?
No, that's me. Go ahead.
Encourage men that if you're going to wear sneakers, wear them at the appropriate time and for the appropriate things. It's okay to have a dress casual sneaker. There's a guy named Ron Donovan out of New York, a brother who makes and designs shoes. He has an amazing shoe line, leather sneakers for men,
Okay.
stuff like that you wear with jeans or whatever. So, and then the other thing is, this is one of my pet peeves, the fragrances. You
Oh,
know, my brothers, please, your fragrance is not supposed to enter the room 30 minutes before you. I mean, brothers, please.
I know.
Brothers, you're not supposed to apply your cologne like this.
Don't,
That's not,
okay. Don't overdo it.
please, it's not even supposed to be on your clothes. When you get out of the shower, that's when you should apply your cologne right here and on the wrist, and it's going to penetrate the rest. It's beautiful. It's for the person that's close to you to smell, not for everybody down the street.
Oh,
Brothers. Oh,
oh my God. These are all good tips. I'm telling you, Jonathan is everything. Hey, John, what are you working on now? What
so
watch out for? Like, what should we?
one of the biggest things that just happened to me is I've decided I needed a team. And I said to God, I said, I want all black women to run my life. I
Oh,
just want everybody black woman. I want it. And things are happening like they have a new manager,
uh-huh.
Water Walkers Management, black woman owns it. And I signed with so this, my manager said, okay, look, Jonathan, you got this look, you got this swag. We got to make some money off this. I'm going to put you in commercials. I'm like, I'm not going to book me for no commercials. Then I got signed to this agency, Sheila Leggett agency out of LA. And 30 days after I signed, I get this global ad campaign for Verizon.
Nice.
So it's going to be out at some point. And it was based on my style. I had to say nothing. She sent pictures out, and I showed up on the set, and they were like, "Oh my God!" And everything I had on, they put in the commercial. And secondly, have you heard about, you know who Kev on Stage is, right?
Of course.
Well, he has this amazing studio. He's doing so many great things. And he has recently casted his first ever comedy series for his studio. And I've been casted as a regular. And we start filming next month. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's so good. I love this. And then we can
Yeah.
follow you on what's your Instagram? Jonathan Slocumb.
My Instagram is I am Jonathan Slocumb. That's JonathanSlocumb. My Facebook is comedian Jonathan Slocumb, and Twitter is I am J Slocumb. And for those who may be so inspired, my Cash App is $ JSLOKE.
Right. We put it right here on the. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Okay, wait
Oh, you have completely made,
behind you.
huh?
What's that behind you?
Oh, this is I'm a huge fan of Basquiat.
I
And if anybody knows Basquiat, you can't be on minimum wage like me and afford one. So
uh-huh.
this is just a tapestry I found, a fabric print of his, and I have him on the pillow right there, and I have his signature crown right here, and I got a picture of him on the wall up there.
Oh, so your fashion style goes spills into interiors.
It definitely does. And I love that. Shout out to Root Magazine. Root Magazine is my first time I was on the cover of a magazine because of my fashion sense. And I'll send you the cover for you to put up later.
Well,
And they call me Jonathan Slocumb, fashionably faithful and funny.
oh, that's right.
That's me.
Thank you so much. So you have to come. You're gonna have to come. You're my special guest at the Emerge Fashion Show that's happened September 13th.
Don't you play, Dionne. I'm telling you, my dream is to do something.
Row C, you and the cat.
I'm coming. I made it, Daddy. I made it. I'm coming to join you, Weezy.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you again on this fashion piece. I think this is such a great thing that you're doing. I love all your work from the past. So thank you again.
Thank you. And I just want to say one more time to all the people who have money and celebrities who may watch this, please support black designers.
Yeah.
When you go to the Image Awards, our awards, I'm sorry, Gucci and Tom Ford and Prada should even show up.
Yeah.
It should be, we got oh my God.
Yeah.
Support them, find them. And shout out to my man, Dapper Dan. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get me a sweatshirt because they run out so fast.
You got that picture of you and Mr. Dapper Dan.
What, I almost cried when I saw him, D, for real. That man is, I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. Follow Emerge on IG, Emerge NYFW. You can also see all our interviews on gfntv.com and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much.
Woo!